Welcome to this programming tutorial. In today's tutorial, I'm going to teach you about a couple of other operators that we can use. We already know about the arithmetic operator. This is where you can add, subtract, multiply, and divide numbers. And we already know about the assignment operator, which we use as a way of assigning data to a variable. But let's look at a couple of other arithmetic operators, and then we'll cover relational operators and Boolean operators. First, let's look at this symbol over here. Two asterisks next to each other. If I run the program, I get 8. This is because this is performing a power. In other words, it's doing 2 to the power of 3. Let's look at this one. 2 division symbols next to each other. This is called a floor division. And let's see what it does. It gives us 3. Let's now do 10 divided by 3, and let's see what the output is for this one. We get 3.3333 up to 5 at the end here. What floor division does is it'll round this down so we end up with just a single digit instead of the remainder. Next, let's look at this operator. This is known as a modulus operator, or mod. Let's see what this does when I run the program. I get 1. Very easy to understand this. 10 divided by 3 is equal to 3 remainder 1. So what modulus does, or mod, is it gives you or returns the remainder of a division. If I did 10 mod 2, I should get 0. Any even number divided by 2 will return no remainder. So here we've got quite an extensive list of different arithmetic operators. We've got the basic ones, power or indice, floor division to get to the left-hand side of the division, and we've got mods to get the remainder of a division. Now, let's move on and look at relational operators. Let's do a little shortcut here. I'm going to hold down the Alt key on my keyboard, and I want to press the / button, or the Control key on my keyboard and press the / button, my bad, to auto comment out everything. I will comment it out here as well. So a relational operator is an operator that you can use when you want to relate two pieces of data. We've got a couple to look at. Equals to. It's called equals to because we've got 2 words, equals to. And we're already using one equal sign as an assignment operator, so we can't use it as a relational operator. Less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, and not equal to, which is represented in a variety of different ways in a variety of different languages. It could be an exclamation mark with an equal sign. It could be 2 arrowheads facing its backs to each other, or it could be not. But we cover this later because this counts into the Boolean operator side of things. For now, let's just keep it as not equal to as a relational operator. So if I print 5 equal to 5, what do you think I'll get? I get true. This is because a relational operator will return a Boolean. Either the condition is true or the condition is false. In this case, 5 equals 5, so the condition is equal to true. And I can do this with every single one of them. 5 is less than 5 will return false. 5 is greater than 5, it will return false. 5 is less than or equal to 5 will return true. And 5 is greater than or equal to 5 will return false. I could also do is 5 not equal to 5, and I'll get false. See? The only ones that are true are the ones where it's equal to, greater than or equal to, which is this one here, or less than or equal to. So we can use relational operators to determine whether something is true or false. This is important to remember because in our next couple of lessons, we're going to be using relational operators quite a bit. Now, let's take a look at Boolean operators. A Boolean operator is an operator that you can use to join two conditions together. I like to think of it that way. We have three we can use: and, or, and not. Let's have a look at how this works. Let's say I want to check if 5 is equal to 5, and I want to check if 10 is equal to 10. This in the middle here is a Boolean operator. If I run this, I should get true. But if one of these is wrong, I'll end up with false. This is because both conditions have to be correct for the output to be true. This is because I'm using and here. This has to be correct, and this has to be correct. If I made this into an or instead, I should get true. That's because one of these conditions has to be correct for the output to also be correct. In this case, 5 equals 5 is correct. So even though this one is incorrect, the or means that we end up with true. Lastly, I could do not, as in not true. If something is not true, it'll be false. Similarly, if something is not false, it'll be true. Now you might be wondering, how can we use all this? And in a later lesson, we'll look at this more in depth. But understand for now, we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4 operators to look at, or 4 operators to revise from. An assignment operator is an equal sign that assigns data to a variable or to a data structure. Arithmetic operator is where you can perform math on numbers such as plus, minus, times, divide, indice or power, floor division to get the single number without the remainder, or modulus to get the remainder without the number. A relational operator, which is equals to, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, or not equal to. And a Boolean operator that allows us to grab these conditions and join them together or glue them together into one area or one place. Make sure you revise these operators, mess about with them and see what works and doesn't work. Remember, you can still have or use variables. If I create a number variable like this, and I print num1 is equal to 5, what do you think will happen? If I run this program, I get false. Can you see why that is? This 5 is the wrong data type. It should be a string. Let's fix that by doing an or Boolean operator here, and we'll say if num is equal to 5 or num1 is equal to 5, we should now get true. Similarly, the not one can be quite useful. Let's say I created one called switched on and I make that equal true. If later on I want to switch this on and off, but I don't want to have to say whether it's, I don't want to have to say switched on equals true, or switched on equals false, switched on equals true, and so on, I can just put a statement here saying switched on is equal to not switched on. In other words, I'm making the variable switched on and I'm assigning data to it, and the data I'm assigning to it is the opposite of itself. So if I print the first statement, and then I print it again after this change, I should get true, false. If I did it again for a third time, I should get true, false, true. Because it's true, then it's not true, which is false, then it's not false, then it's true. It can get quite confusing. Lastly, I wanted to show you a little trick that you can do with assignment operators. So let's go back up here, back to our assignment operator over here. Let's create a number. We'll make this equal 2. Now, we could do a result and add number plus 2, or plus 1, or plus 2, or plus 3, or whatever. But you can actually change or slightly modify the assignment operator to include an arithmetic operator. For example, if you want to add 2 to the number variable over here, let's change results to number. We're going to change what is stored in number to itself plus 2. If I had to do that manually, it'd be done like this, number plus 2. That will get whatever's inside number and add 2 to it. But we can do much better than that. I can just do plus equals 2, and that will automatically know to add whatever it currently is to 2. I could do minus equals 2 to subtract something from itself. And I think you know where I'm going with this. You could do number times equals 2, number divide equals 2. We could even do something like number modulo equals 2. And we could do number floor equals 2. And we could do number power equals 2. All of these are shortcut versions of writing it like this, where instead of having all of these operators over here, like that, we had number across everything. So this would be plus, this would be minus, this would be multiply, divides, modulo, floor division, and the power. These two statements over here, these two groups of code here, are exactly the same, except this is a shortcut way of doing this. Thank you for watching this tutorial. I hope you found it helpful.